Hi guys! I haven't done a video blog in a while, so I thought I'd do one just to catch you guys up real quick. I've been writing blogs because I feel like that's been more effective to get my ideas out. I found that doing video blogs I can end up being really long-winded and it's just kind of hard to watch after a while. And I feel like I express myself better in writing, but I thought I'd do little video blogs once in a while. So here's one more. Um, this last week and for the next 2 weeks, I don't have school, but I have tests the next 2 weeks. And this last week, I've just been studying. In Spain here, or at least in the University of Malaga, when you are at the end of your semester, which usually ends in January, February, you have a week. Sometimes, depending on your major, you have a few weeks or a week to study, and then you have 2 weeks of exams. So my exams go from the 6th to the 16th, and I have one every couple of days, and they can be on Saturdays, which I found that interesting. So also another thing that's kind of stressful, which it's a lot like how we do it in the United States too. Some of the tests, or all of my tests, are cumulative, so everything that we've studied through the whole semester, anything the professor has ever said or even talked about, even for 5 minutes, has a chance of being on the test unless the professor tells you otherwise. So for my classes, French, I've been studying everything and making notebooks and rewriting notes and everything. For lengua, for my Estudio de la Lengua Española, we get to write a little notebook and use it on the test, so hopefully I'll be able to do that test. It's kind of difficult for me because it's finding things that are grammatically incorrect, such as comma usage, which I feel is a little bit different in Spanish than in English. Then my other classes are history and Latin, and I took the Latin test. We have two chances to take the test, and the first time I took it, I honestly have never had a test that was that stressful while I was taking it. I don't know. I was so stressed out. It was such a hard test, very difficult. But I got through it, and I don't know what the note is yet, but we'll wait and see for that. One other thing I want to note is that on tests here in Spain, I think it's a general rule in Spain, which is different than in my university, Nebraska Wesleyan, is that you have to write in pen. You can't use pencil. And if you want to erase or get rid of something, you can use whiteout, which they call tipe here. But some professors don't even want whiteout. They want you to write it perfectly in pen. But the reason they want you to use pen is because if you write in pencil, it can be changed, it can be erased, and that's where problems start with grading and what grade you get and everything like that. So anyways, with all that, everyone here seems to be deep into their studies and studying a lot. There's those that study a lot. There's those that study very little and go out and use this time to relax. But I think it depends on what you think you can do. As an exchange student, I feel like I need to study a little bit more because I need to be able to figure out how to respond to certain things in Spanish. And for example, my history test, I can't write the essay in English. I have to write the essay in Spanish. So I have to kind of go over the vocabulary of history, not just the content that I'm learning. So that's something different that I found while studying here in Spain and studying in a different language, even. But I feel like I finally feel like my Spanish is decent enough that I can understand my professors and I feel comfortable talking. Of course, there's still times where I slip up with, I made something masculine that's supposed to be feminine. Those are kind of natural slip-ups. Sometimes Andalusians do them too, I've heard. And some of the things like vocab is sometimes difficult for me to retain and remember all the vocab words that I need to use. But generally I feel very comfortable, and I credit that to having all my Spanish roommates. They only speak Spanish, which helps me a lot because if I want to talk about something, or if I have to speak Spanish no matter what. If I'm having a bad day, I have to speak Spanish. I can't just give up and say I'm having a bad day, I'll just speak in English. And I think that's what's important, is because no matter how annoying it gets, kind of, I love Spanish, don't get me wrong. I love learning language, and it's my dream to be here and to be studying language, but sometimes you can get really frustrated with not being able to express yourself because you're learning a different language. But I found, like, if I used to kind of fight it a little bit and say, you know, I'm trying to express myself, I should express in English. But then after a while, after, you know, traveling with my Argentinian friends who only spoke Spanish, I had to express myself in Spanish. I had to say things like, I don't want to do, like, this is not me, this is my character, you know, all these different things that sometimes are really hard to explain or talk about. I had to learn how to explain and talk about them. And that is something that I think you either get to a point and you give up, or you get to a point, you get frustrated, and you just keep going. And exchange students need to keep going and not just get frustrated with things, because it's hard. Language is hard. You're not always going to pronounce things correctly. People are going to call you gidi, which is gringa, basically. They're going to make fun of your accent or whatever. But at least you're trying, and at least eventually you'll be happy with it. Like, I'm pretty happy with my Spanish, and hopefully it'll get better, and I think it will. I have till July 24th, so I have a little less than 6 months left, which is actually making me really sad. I don't want to think about leaving, and I don't want to leave Malaga. Maybe if my family and my friends were here, I I'd stay forever, but I don't really want to go back, honestly. Maybe I'll feel different in a couple months, but as for now, I'm loving life here, and I love being an exchange student here. After the initial culture shock and everything that has been so stressful, I finally, after 5 months, 5 or 6 months, I finally feel settled. And I think that's what they said. Why I'm glad I chose to be here for a year too, is because I'm starting to make friends easier. I'm actually talking to the people in the residence hall more. I'm not so afraid to strike up a conversation or anything like that. And that's when it gets fun, is when language doesn't even become kind of I mean, it's still an issue, but it's not an issue anymore. It's just a natural part of life now that I'm dealing with every day. I'm waking up and I'm speaking Spanish. It's just like brushing my teeth. It comes a little more naturally, and it's a lot of fun. Hopefully, it'll get better, and I'll keep updating you. And maybe I should do a vlog in Spanish. I don't know. We'll have to see, depending on if all of you guys are viewing this, or if it's just going there into my video blog, out into the internet, and never being seen again. But anyways, I hope to keep you guys more updated. This last month's been busy, so keep checking in. Thanks for watching. Bye.